अमेरिका के सभी पदाधिकारियों को आपके श्री चरणों में प्रणाम नमस्कार करता हूं। जैसा कि विदित है, श्रावण मास चल रहा है और उसमें भी अधिक मास चल रहा है जिसको पुरुषोत्तम मास कहते हैं। तो श्रावण मास और पुरुषोत्तम मास की आप सभी ब्राह्मण समाज ऑफ नॉर्थ अमेरिका के सभी बंधुओं को, बहनों को, बेटियों को मेरा हृदय से प्रणाम नमस्कार। आइए चलो मंगलाचरण में पहले स्वस्ति वाचन से आरंभ करते हैं। सबसे पहले जब किसी कार्य का आरंभ होता है तो दीप प्रज्वलित होता है। तो दीप प्रज्वलित के लिए मैं मंत्र बोल रहा हूं। शुभम करोति कल्याणम आरोग्यम सुख संपदाम शत्रु बुद्धि विनाशम च दीप ज्योति नमस्तुते। मैं पृथ्वी माता को प्रणाम कर रहा हूं। ओम पृथ्वी त्वया दत्ता लोका देवी पवित्रम कुरु चासनम त्वं चं धार्यं देवी पवित्रम कुरु चासनम। पृथ्वी माता के ऊपर हम लोग सब विराजमान रहते हैं तो आसन को प्रणाम किया। ओम केशवाय नमः, माधवाय नमः, ओम नारायणाय नमः। 3 बार हमने मनसा वचन कर्म से भगवान श्री कृष्ण, भगवान समस्त वैकुंठनाथ को मैंने प्रणाम किया है। हरि ओम मा स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धसर्वाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदा स्वस्ति नस्तारक्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पति दधातु रक्षदश्वामरतं प्रसन्नमातरं शुभवानो विद्युतेषु जग्मया अग्निजिभ्यामनवः सूरचक्षुनो विश्वेनो देवा अवसागिमन्यं भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाख्यभिरञ्जत्रा स्थैरङ्गाः तुष्टगुंगशमस्वेमहि देवहितं यदायुः शतमिन्नु शरदो अन्ति देवा चत्रा न चक्रा जर्षं तनूनाम पुत्रासो यत पितरो भवन्ति मानो मध्यारीरस तारयुगन्तो अदितिदोरदितिरक्ष मदिति माता स पिता स पुत्रा विश्वे देवा अदितिः पंचजना अदिति जातमदिति जना त्वम् ओम धौ हौ शांति अंतरिक्ष शांति पृथ्वी शांतिरापः शांतिरो हृदयः शांति वनस्पतयः शांति विश्वे देवा शांति ब्रह्मा शांति सर्वगुण शांति शांतिरेवा शांति सामा शांतिरेति यतो यथा समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु सन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयं न पशुभ्यं सुशान्तरं भवतु। श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। लक्ष्मी नारायणाय नमः। उमा महेश्वराभ्यां नमः। वाणी हिरण्यगर्भाभ्यां नमः। सची पुरंदराभ्यां नमः। मातृचरण कमलोभ्यो नमः। इष्ट देवताभ्यो नमः। कुल देवताभ्यो नमः। ग्राम देवताभ्यो नमः। वास्तु देवताभ्यो नमः। स्थान देवताभ्यो नमः। सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः। सर्वेभ्यो ब्राह्मणोभ्यो नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि सहिता श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु नास्ति तेषां मंगलम् येषास्तु भगवान् मंगलाय तनो हरि। वक्रतुंडं महाकाय कोटिसूर्य संप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवो सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्नभीष्टितोऽहम् ईर्थास्पदं शिवविरञ्चनुतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपाल भवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुष ते चरुणारविन्दम्। नमः परमहंसा स्वादित चरण कमल चिन्ह मकरंदाय भक्त जन मानस निवासाय श्री रामचंद्राय अस्ति स्वस्त्र कराग्र विगल कल्प प्रसूनाव्लतम वस्तु प्रस्तुत वेणुनाद लहरी निर्वाण निर्व्याकुलम हस्त शस्त्र निबद्धनी विबल सदगोपी सहताव्रतम हस्तन्स्ताप वर्ग मखिलो तारम किशोराकृति कृष्ण त्वदीय पद पंकज पंजरान्ते अद्यैव मे विसतु मानस राजहंसा प्राण प्रयाण समये कपवात पित्तई कंठावरोधन विधो स्मरणं कुतस्ते अज्ञान तिमिरांधरस्य ज्ञानांजल शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् वंशी विभूषित करा नवनीरदावात् पीताम्बरा पलादरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दु सुंदर मुखारधरविंद्र नेत्रात् कृष्णात् परम किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। जय जय श्री राधा रमण जय जय नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर। बोलो श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। देखिए श्रावण मास चल रहा है और उसमें भी अधिक मास है। तो श्रावण मास जो है भगवान श्री कृष्ण और भगवान भोलेनाथ का मास कहा गया है। और श्रावण मास के इस परम पावन पवित्र महीने में मैं भगवान शिव का रुद्राष्टमकम जो गोस्वामी तुलसीदास जी द्वारा विरचित है, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास जी ने श्री रामचरित मानस में बड़ा सुंदर उसका वर्णन किया है। जिस समय भगवान श्री राम रामेश्वरम के शिवलिंग की स्थापना कर रहे हैं, उस समय भगवान श्री राम राघवेंद्र ने जो स्तुति भगवान शिव को की है, रामेश्वरम को की है, मैं वही आपके समक्ष प्रस्तुत कर रहा हूं। नमामि समी सान निर्वाण रूपम विभुम व्यापकम ब्रह्म वेदा स्वरूपम निजम निर्गुणम निर्विकल्पम निरीहम चिदाकाशमाकाशवासम भजेहम निरंकार ओंकार मूलम तुरीहम गिरा ज्ञान गोतीतमीशम गिरीशम करालम महाकाल कालम कृपालम गुणागार संसार पारम नतोहम नमामि समीशान निर्वाण रूपम विभुम व्यापकम ब्रह्म वेद स्वरूपम तुषाराद्रिसंकात गौरम गंभीरम मनोभूति कोटि प्रभासी शरीरम स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लो नुनी चारु गंगा लसत बाल बालेन्दु कंठे भुजंगा चलत कुंडलम भ्रूसुनेत्रम विशालम प्रसन्नानुनं नीलकंठम दयालम मृगाधीशचर्माम्बरम मुंडमालम प्रियं शंकरं सर्वनाथं भजामि प्रचंडं प्रकाष्टं प्रगल्भं परेशं अखंडं अजं भानु कोटि प्रकाशं त्रिशूल निर्मूलनं शूलपाणि भजे हम भवानी पति भावगम्यम कलातीत कल्पान कलातीत कल्याण कल्पांतकारी सदा सच्चिदानंद दाता पुरारी चिदानंद संदोह मोहा तुहारी प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो मन्मथारी नयावत उमानाथ पादार विंदम भजन्ति है लोके परेवा नराणाम न तावत् सुखं शांति संतापुनाशम प्रसीदो प्रभो सर्वभूतादि वासम न जानामि योगम जपम नैम पूजा न तो हम सदा सर्वदासं भूतोऽप्यं जरा जन्म दुखो ताताप्यमानं प्रभो पाह्यापं नमामि सुशंभो प्रभो पाह्यापं नमामि सुशंभो रुद्राष्टकम् इदं प्रोक्तं विप्रेणो हरितोषये ते पठन्ति नर शंभु प्रसीद। बोलो श्री शंकर भगवान की जय। जो जीव इस भगवान शिव की रुद्राष्टकम का जो कोई श्रावण मास में पाठ करता है अथवा हमेशा पाठ करता है तो उसके जीवन में कभी संकट से परेशान नहीं करते, ऐसा तुलसीदास जी ने श्री रामचरितमानस में कहा है। और किसी भी शत्रु पर, हमारे शरीर में भी शत्रु होते हैं, काम क्रोध लोभ मोह, इन शत्रुओं पर विजय प्राप्त करने के लिए हमें नित्य प्रति इसका पाठ करना चाहिए। अब मैं एक श्रावण मास चल रहा है, उसमें अगर आपकी आज्ञा हो तो मैं एक श्रावण मास का झूलन का पद सुनाता हूं। आप सबकी आज्ञा हो तो मैं जरूर सुनाता हूं। भगवान श्री कृष्ण और श्री राधा रानी श्रावण में वृंदावन के वृक्षावली में, जहां कदम्ब के पेड़ हैं, वहां पर भगवान श्रावण के महीने में श्री राधिका रानी और गोपियों के साथ जब झूलन का महोत्सव करते थे, तो पद है मैं आपके बीच में प्रस्तुत कर रहा हूं। चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी झूले कुंज बिहारी, बांके बिहारी झूले कुंज बिहारी। चाहे रही ओ चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। सोने को है सुघर हिंडोरा, साज सजो सुंदर अनमोला, झूला झूला में ब्रजनार रे, झूला झूला में ब्रजनार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। बांके बिहारी झूले कुंज बिहारी, झांके बिहारी झूले कुंज बिहारी। चाहे रही ओ चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। चित्त को चुरैया बांकी बांकी झांकी, चित्त को चुरावे बांकी झांकी। सूरत मूरत अजब अदा की, सूरत मूरत अजब अदा की। और पढ़ रही हाँ पढ़ रही अतर फुआर रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। बांके बिहारी मेरे कुंज बिहारी, बांके बिहारी मेरे कुंज बिहारी। छाए रही छाए रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। बंधन बार बंधी हरियाली, बंधन बार बंधी हरियाली। मंदिर में है धूम निराली, मंदिर में है धूम निराली। और है रही जय जयकार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। है रही जय जयकार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। स्तुति करत मगन नर नारी, स्तुति करत मगन नर नारी। महिमा तीनन लोक ते न्यारी, महिमा तीन लोक ते न्यारी। तन मन धन और तन मन धन बलिहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। तन मन धन बलिहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। चाहे रही हो चाहे रही अजब बहार रे, झूले बांके बिहारी। बोलो श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा और ब्राह्मण समाज ऑफ नॉर्थ अमेरिका के जो कन्वेंशन के डायरेक्टर हैं श्री भावतोष भारद्वाज जी, कन्वेंशन डायरेक्टर हैं श्री अलका शर्मा जी, श्री श्रीश तिवारी जी, प्रेसिडेंट BSNA के डॉक्टर अजय पांडे जी, डॉक्टर केशव शुक्ला जी जो कि प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ GBC एंड BSNA और बोर्ड, डॉक्टर सेन पाठक जी चेयरमैन ऑफ BSNA और बोर्ड, डॉक्टर संजय कुमार पांडे जी जो एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ GBC एंड BSNA और बोर्ड। आप सभी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। आपने मुझे इस कार्यक्रम के लिए उपस्थित होने का मौका दिया। मैं आप सभी के चरणों में विनम्र प्रार्थना करता हूं। इसी प्रकार से आप भारत के भूमि के जो आप श्रोता हैं और वहां पर आप भारत भूमि का जो डंका बज रहा है मैं आप सभी को शुभकामनाएं भी देता हूं और आप सभी के चरणों प्रणाम भी करता हूं। जय जय श्री राधे, जय श्री कृष्ण। अगर कुछ है मुझे देना चाह, आप जब तक मुझे आज्ञा नहीं देंगे तो मैं आगे नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि समय का पालन करना हमारी नैतिक जिम्मेदारी है। तो आप जैसा मुझे आज्ञा करें मुझे बताएं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आचार्य जगदीश जी, बहुत बहुत सुंदर मंगलाचरण। और अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, तो मैं अजय पांडे जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि वंदना के लिए कनक गिरी जी को इंट्रोड्यूस करें।
नमस्ते, नमस्ते एवरीवन। जो कनक जी वंदना करने वाले हैं, so I just want to say a few words for Kanak ji. Kanak ji and Giri ji, they are the most active, BSNA volunteer. Kanak ji has volunteered since last 25 years, and she is the backbone actually of BSNA and Mission chapter. So, Kanak ji, please take over.
थैंक यू सो मच अजय जी, और सभी BSNA में आए हुए सम्मिलित हुए सारे विद्वान ब्राह्मण जनों को सादर नमस्कार है। बड़ा ही गौरवान्वित सा फील हो रहा है इस वक्त कि इस कन्वेंशन में सबसे पहले ये वंदना गाने का मौका मुझे दिया गया है। थैंक यू सो मच। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। देव ब्रह्मा हे पितामह विश्व श्रेष्ठा देव जय जय। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु विश्वपालक देव जय जय। देव शंकर प्रलयकारी शंभु शिव नटराज जय जय। शारदा संगीत रूपा देवी वीणा वादिनी जय। देव ब्रह्मा हे पितामह विश्व श्रेष्ठा देव जय जय। देवी लक्ष्मी लोक माता सर्वमंगल कारिणी जय। देवी दुर्गा शक्ति रूपा सर्व संकट हारिणी जय। देव ब्रह्मा हे पितामह विश्व श्रेष्ठा देव जय जय। सत्य पर विश्वास की जय, जय धरा आकाश की जय। ब्रह्म की संतान है हम, धर्म का वरदान है हम। देव ब्रह्मा हे पितामह विश्व श्रेष्ठा देव जय जय। हम अहिंसा के पुजारी ज्ञान विद्या के उपासक, हे परम कल्याणकारी हो अमर संस्कृति हमारी। देव ब्रह्मा हे पितामह विश्व श्रेष्ठा देव जय जय। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु विश्वपालक देव जय जय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम।
हरिओम। धन्यवाद कनक जी।
जी थैंक यू।
अब हम लोग 1 मिनट का मौन व्रत करेंगे मिश्रा जी के लिए। तो मेरा सभी से अनुरोध है कि हम लोग म्यूट करके 1 मिनट के लिए उनकी शांति के लिए मौन व्रत करें। हरि ओम। धन्यवाद आप सभी का। अब आज के हमारे पहले दिन के पहले सेशन में आगे बढ़ते हुए वेलकम एड्रेस से शुरुआत करते हैं। सो ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ एंटायर न्यू जर्सी टीम, आई थैंक एवरीवन। हमारे सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स, हमारे एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल मेंबर, सभी को का स्वागत है। और आज के दिन की शुरुआत हम वेलकम एड्रेस से करेंगे। तो मैं इनवाइट करता हूँ मेरे को होस्ट अलका जी, if you would like to say 2 words, or Bhavtosh.
Thank you, Shirish ji. Welcome to our second day of 27th Annual Convention of BSNA. I'm Alka Sharma from New Jersey chapter. I'm very happy to be part of this organization, BSNA, and proud of its accomplishments for our community globally, not just in North America. My connection with BSNA has been long before taking this responsibility as a New Jersey chapter president. Being an educator for the last 20 years at the high school in New Jersey, I've seen how staying connected to our roots help our youth to even perform better in schools and keep them grounded by adhering to this Sanatanic values and Brahmanic heritage. I also advise in my school Asian students where they practice their Hindu culture and celebrate few, our legacy of celebrating Diwali, Holi, and some other festivals. I am pleased to present our New Jersey team of BSNA. And today's program brings a variety of items to you, and we are very happy to present this. And it's been orchestrated by collective effort of all the members. I'm sure that it will be a great delight to all of you. And I want to thank again to all of you for joining second day of our convention. And I would like to see everyone tomorrow again. Thank you. Welcome again.
Thank you, Alka ji. Bhavtosh ji.
Ji, namaskar. Thank you, Alka ji. Thank you, Shirish ji. Namaskar, everyone. My name is Bhavtosh Bhardwaj, and I'm based out of New Jersey. And again, I just echo what Alka ji said. I think we are very privileged, and I feel very fortunate to be attached with BSNA. I think, if you ask me, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि BSNA एक परिवार की तरह है. हम लोग सब जुड़े हुए हैं, सारे Brahmins. And especially when you are out of your own country and you are staying outside, like North America or any other places, and जब आप उन ब्राह्मण परिवारों से मिलते हैं, बातें करते हैं, तो ऐसा नहीं फील होता है कि आप बाहर हैं, like country से बाहर हैं. So I feel so home. Even we are connected through this group, online, virtual, but still gives the feeling that yes, we have a family here also, and we are doing some good things actually for the society, connecting people and doing better things. Convention में आप अगर देखें तो हमारा इस बार का टॉपिक जो है ब्राह्मिक वैल्यूज, सनातन एंड ब्राह्मिक वैल्यूज. हम डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज अगर आप देखें तो हम अपनी फैमिली में सनातन और ब्राह्मिक वैल्यूज को डेली यूज करते हैं. लाइक वी लिव टू दैट and we just want to propagate that to our next generation. And if you see back in past days, these things were going from one generation to another generation by words, by having these activities. So मेरा आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप सभी फैमिली मेंबर्स को, सारे बच्चों को, स्पेशली यूथ को connect करें, so that they can understand like how these Sanatan values can help them. And these are like very good things coming out for thousands of years. and we want to continue the same thing in near future. I don't want to take much time. I hope you guys gonna enjoy the convention we put together as a team. Thank you, and hope you're gonna enjoy it. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू भातोष जी। तो आगे बढ़ते हुए अब मैं अपने बसना के प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर अजय पांडे जी को इनवाइट करता हूं। अजय पांडे जी की जो प्रारंभिक शिक्षा है वो इंडिया में हुई। इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद यूएस आए और यूएस में आकर उन्होंने अपना मास्टर्स किया, नासा में काम किया। अभी एज ए जनरल मैनेजर हैं जनरल मोटर्स में, और बसना के साथ काफी लंबे समय से जुड़े हुए हैं। 1994 से कई तरह की जिम्मेदारियां निभा चुके हैं और अभी रिसेंटली उन्होंने हमारा प्रेसिडेंट रोल लिया है। सो अजय जी प्लीज।
Great. Thank you, Shiriji, for hosting today's session. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to just participate this and say hi to everyone. I'm welcoming everyone today again. First of all, I just want to thank New Jersey team. That's a new team which got together and to conduct this annual convention. And even though we had a lot of difficulties, but we overcame those and came together. So thank you, Bhatosh ji, Sirish ji, and Alka ji for putting up this program. What I want to do, and just before, I think we have before our 10 minutes before the hour, we need to start our other program. I just want to acknowledge where we stand in terms of BSNA and where we are going, right? So just let me, the current status of BSNA, let me, so there's a new team which took over. So I just want to call and introduce you the new team, and I acknowledge their contribution so far, and we are looking forward to their continued contribution, and also BOT team and the chapter teams, different chapters. So this for the next 3 years, 2023 to 25, we have Praveen ji as Executive Vice President. Praveen ji is traveling, I think, he's not there. And Sri ji, if you can highlight the people I'm naming, so at least they can, we can see them if they are online. Shiv Pathak ji is the Vice President for USA. Lakshmi Shankar Dubey ji from Canada is the other Vice President. Sukrit ji is General Secretary. Sukrit ji is traveling in Europe today, actually, so he's not able to join. Vivek Pandey ji is the Treasurer from San Diego. Anurag Dubey ji is our Assistant Treasurer. Bhatosh ji, he is the Director of IT. Sanjay Tiwari ji looks like he is not here. He is the Social Media and Marketing person. Radha Mohan ji is our Matrimonial Director. Somnath ji is looking after external organization coordination as a director. And Sirish ji is actually Director of Marketing and Relationship Building. Sanjay ji is our Senior Advisor, and he is Brahmvarti Editor-in-Chief, also past President. Keshav ji is Advisor and Editor-in-Chief of Brahmvarti. We also have Ganesh Dadhish ji, who is the Associate Editor. So we have actually 15 people on our board, Executive Committee board. So welcome everyone, and thanks for your support, and we look forward to working with you closely. I want to acknowledge Board of Trustees. We have Dr. Sent Pathak, who is the chairman of our board. Thank you, Pathak ji, for being here. Dr. Salil Tiwari, he is also a member. Sarvanath Tiwari, Dr. Sarvanath Dwivedi, Dr. Keshav Shukla, Dr. Vinod Mishra, Mrs. Urvasi Pathak, Dr. Akuraju, I think Dr. Akuraju is here, Sarma, Mr. Chakradhar Sarma, Mr. Gopal Chaturvedi, and Dr. Jiyendra Tripathi. So we have 10 BOT members, and thanks for serving on the board. With respect to our chapter, we have very active chapters, and several of them. We have currently actually chapters, but not everyone is active. So one of the goals is to make all the chapter as active as our San Diego chapter is, or Houston chapter is, or Michigan chapter is. So I want to acknowledge the chapter president. Our LA, California chapter president is Dr. Sukrit Mukherjee. San Diego, Rajiv Mishraji. Minnesota, Shalini Pandey. Michigan, Vijay Mishraji. New Jersey team, Alkaji. New York chapter, which is just starting, Bhatoji is taking role on that. Houston chapter, Brij Kumar Pathakji is, I think he's online. And our recent startup, actually chapter-wise, is Mrs. Nidhi Sharma from Atlanta. I think Nidhi ji is online too. So with that, we have a strong team and a variety. I mean, it's a diversity of people who bring ideas. And one of my objective as president of BSNA is to bring all of them together. And I want to kind of, my role is to empower every one of you to make things happen and take the BSNA to a next level of our performance. So I'm looking forward to your help. Please, we do have WhatsApp group for BOT member. We also have WhatsApp group for chapter presidents. We also have WhatsApp group for BSNA EC. So please reach out, and if you are not part of the member yet, so please join those WhatsApp group for communication. And with that, actually, I'm again, congratulations to the team for doing a wonderful job. And I'm looking forward to the whole day and tomorrow. So we'll have an answer for actually during general body meeting tomorrow. So please, if you have any question, please come on down. And tomorrow we'll talk about any question you have. Thank you.
Ajay, 1 minute. Dr. Sanjay Pandey is also board of trustee.
Okay, I think we'll update our list.
Yes. Thank you.
Kiriji, you can take over.
धन्यवाद अजय जी। अब मैं इनवाइट करता हूं शिव जी को हमारे अगले प्रोग्राम के लिए। वंदे मातरम और जन मन गण। शिव जी, आप खुद को अनम्यूट करिए।
जी नमस्कार। So Rudransh Pathak, is Janki there to introduce Rudransh? Okay, no problem. So Rudransh is a 11th grade student here in Clemens School, lives with me in Sugarland. He has attended one conference which happened in Houston a few years back, and he's engaged with the BSNA youth activities. So he'll be playing Vande Mataram followed by Jan Gardman. Rudransh.
Yeah, so I'll be playing on violin. I hope you guys enjoy.
रुद्रांश, आपकी ऑडियो बहुत क्लियर नहीं है।
Are you listening us? Oh,
Somehow your audio was not there actually. We were getting like a very low
is
voice.
it there now?
हाँ, आप जब बोल रहे हैं शिव जी तो ऑडियो बहुत क्लियर है, लेकिन जब रुद्रांश प्ले कर रहे हैं तो ऑडियो आ नहीं रही है। थोड़ा शायद आप पास आ जाइए।
जी। Okay, so now Janagarman.
Mushroom. Thank you.
Thank you रुद्रांश। Thank you शिव जी। अब हमारे जो आज के कीनोट स्पीकर हैं श्री विभूति झा जी। विभूति जी आप ऑन हैं?
Shiriji,
जी।
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we skipped a couple of other programs. Dr. Keshav Shukla, as chairman of, as the president of GBC, and Dr. Sen Pathak, as well as Vishwati Trivedi ji, they were on the agenda. I think we skipped them. So let's go back and before we bring Vibhuti ji.
Okay. Thank you अजय जी।
No
तो
problem.
मैं केशव शुक्ला जी को आमंत्रित करता हूँ कि वो अपना वेलकम एड्रेस दें।
Thank you, Sriji. Om Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat. Dear BSNA and GBC families and friends, on behalf of Global Brahman Confederation, which is GBC, I am honored to welcome you all to this convention of BSNA and GBC, which I call World Brahman Convention. GBC is an independent umbrella organization registered and incorporated as not for profit in USA to serve the global Brahman community. Only Brahman organizations of the world are its member. There is no individual membership. For example, Brahman Samaj of India, Brahman Samaj of North America, and many others are the life members of GBC. Last evening, we dedicated the Kavi Sammelan event as the memorial of late Dr. Shrikant Mishra ji, former president and board chairman of both BSNA and GBC, who passed away last year. He was a proud Brahman and served this community by Mansa, Vacha, and Karmana, and also by Tan, Man, and Dhan. Next, I express my special gratitude to the organizing committee of this convention, led by convention directors Alka ji, Srish ji, and Bhavtosh ji from New Jersey and New York chapters. for their hard work to put together several engaging programs in a short time frame. Also, I greatly appreciate the supports of EC and board members of both BSNA and GBC and numerous youth and adult volunteers who have been working and the activities of this convention in backgrounds. Our keynote speaker, guest speakers, and performers in the convention are well placed to discuss and highlight the key theme, relevance of Sanatani and Brahmanic values in modern era. I sincerely hope everyone will enjoy these two-day sessions and discussions on the protection, preservation, promotion, and enhancement of Brahmanic values, Sanatan Dharma, Vedic culture, and Hindu heritage, including the culture programs. Together, we should protect and nourish each other, work together with great energy, grow our wisdom and intellect effectively, and support each other. Om Sahanavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvisavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Wish you all long, healthy and happy life. Thank you.
थैंक यू केशव जी। अब मैं डॉक्टर सेन पाठक जी से अनुरोध करूंगा, जो हमारे प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ बीएसआई और वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ जीबीसी हैं, दो शब्द कहें। पाठक जी, आप खुद को अनम्यूट करिए।
Pathak ji is the chairman of BSNA board. Dr. Sanjay Pandey is the executive vice president of GBC, and Sri Bispati Trivedi ji is the president of Brahman Samaj of India and also vice president of GBC. Pathak ji.
आप खुद को अनम्यूट करिए।
Okay. My dear global sister, brothers, and the future pillars are BSNA and GBC. Future pillars are our younger generation. On behalf of both members and on my own behalf, I would like to welcome you all in this virtual annual conference of BSNA and GBC. Ajay Pandey ji, I wish to publicly apologize to you because I could not attend your conference because I had some serious infection in my eyes. But your team, that includes Bhautosh ji, Alka ji, Shirish ji, especially Nikhil and Rishabh, these younger generations, and all others who have done very hard work to make this conference a great success. Please enjoy this conference, and my humble request is to bring your children. This is very, very important. BSNA is meant for our future generation. We are born as a Brahmin and we will die as a Brahmin. But this BSNA is meant only basically for our future generations. So please bring your children, and they will learn a lot from this deliberation, I assure you. I wish a grand success of this conference. Sarve bhavam sukhna, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukbhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद पाठक जी। अब हमारे जो नेक्स्ट स्पीकर हैं, डॉक्टर विश्वपति त्रिवेदी जी। सॉरी फॉर मेसिंग अप द टाइटल्स। वो प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ बीएसआई एंड बीबी ऑफ जीबीसी हैं। तो मैं त्रिवेदी जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि दो शब्द कहें। आप खुद को अनम्यूट करिए।
Thank you very much. It is indeed a great pleasure to be once again with all the members of BSNA, GBC, and it was so heartening to see that we have such an excited and a very hardworking team now emerging on the East Coast also. सर्वप्रथम मैं अजय पांडे जी को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि मुझे ये आपने यहाँ आमंत्रित किया और आप सबके बीच में कुछ बोलने का मौका दिया। हमारे पिलर्स सेन पाठक जी, संजय पांडे जी, शुक्ला जी का सदा मेरे ऊपर बहुत प्रेम और स्नेह रहा है, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारे एक पिलर हमारे बीच में इस साल नहीं है, डॉक्टर श्रीकांत मिश्रा जी, उनकी कमी बहुत खल रही है। He was in real life a great proponent of our cause, and what I used to like was his sense of humor also. That he had this way of doing things in a very, very pleasant, humorous, light way, that it went a long way with both the older generation and the younger generation. May his soul rest in peace, and we send our heartiest, heartfelt condolences to his family. And once again, welcome to the new team. BSI, which is the Brahmin Samaj of India, and BSNA and GBC have a very, very strong connection. It goes beyond institutions and goes into very, very individual type of relationships between all of us. And it is a pleasure always when anybody from GBC or BSNA comes to India, we are able to meet and exchange our views. Recently, the most recent visitor to us, of course, Sanjay Pandey ji was here, and then Mahendra Mishra ji was here, and we hosted him for a meeting, and he brought such such useful information and in us as to what exactly the BSNA and the GBC and individuals who are members of BSNA are doing for education of professional students in India. In fact, Mahendra Mishra ji did take up a few applications, and I believe they have also been allowed financing from the funds that and the trusts that he was talking about. That indeed, it may be 1 or 2 or 3, doesn't matter, but it's the beginning. It's happening, and it is so heartening to see that there is progress, there is a possibility, and there is a lot that we can do between the two continents. I look forward. I missed the evening program yesterday. I was actually held up in an arbitration proceedings till late. But I do look forward to the functions today and tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's this time gap which constrains us from joining through and through, but we'll try our best. And just as Saint Patrick साहब ने कहा कि हम लोग को नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को जोड़ना चाहिए, तो ऐसा कोई परिवार इंडिया में शायद ही हो जिसका कनेक्शन अमेरिका से नहीं है, direct in their as parts of their as their kids, their siblings, or and so there is an automatic connection. And I think it is a very good thought, and it must be made, we have to make an effort to bring these younger generation into the fold. They are all waiting for it. I think they are all keen to join. They all want to learn about their culture and their backgrounds and their historical origins and what happens in our Hindu philosophy. And I think the subject of reservation, which is going to be discussed, is also a very, very important thing. The difference between America and India is that historically the voice for reservation or affirmative action had started in US and India a long time back. It happened. I mean, in India, there was reservation in the state of Mysore, in the state of Madras, and so on and so forth. But in the US, with the recent judgment about admissions to the top schools, Howard and others, where the Supreme Court has struck down any reservation for, I mean, I would say the Americans are fortunate that there is some kind of a reversal. I mean, but India, I think the political parties, given the voting dynamics, nobody even raises up the voice against reservation, and it's such an inbuilt part of the constitution that I don't think a reservation is going to recede in India in the near future. But it is a subject we must discuss. We must bring it to the attention of our younger generation that this is something which cannot sustain forever in any nation or in any society. But there is immediately no reprieve from it, at least in India. But we must discuss it, and I do discuss it on different forums. And there are certain other finer points to the reservation that that need to be discussed, that need to be contained. You know, it's spreading like octopus into promotions, into recruitments. It's always there, but into contractual employment, and now it is even threatening to be extended into the private sector in India. So those are the kind of tentacles we have to stop. You know, enough is enough. There is reservation, but the Constitution did not mean that you have reservation everywhere, in every field, in every aspect of your job, including public and private. So a debate on this must continue to contain these things, and efforts must continue to contain. We are not getting violent here. We're not hitting or hurting anybody, but we must put our thoughts forward. It so happens that most of the Brahmin organizations have come up saying this. There are other so-called upper castes. They have not voiced their sentiments, although they feel it as much as we do. But nonetheless, Brahmins have always led the cultures and societies, not today, for thousands of years. So we don't have to be extra careful that we are doing it, and so the entire animosity is going to be against the Brahmins. So be it. There's always been that way, and so be it. But it should not hold us from discussing. And I'm very happy that BSNA, one of the subjects being discussed in this convention is the issues of reservation. And I think we can strongly convey a message from the BSNA convention to whoever it has to be, that this is how we feel. And I do support the idea of a better coordination between more and more, better of course, in quality and in quantity, between the two institutions. We are a very large organization in India, spread out in all states in some manner or the other. We have so many members. We have so many interesting members from all fields of life. Acharya Jagdish Upadhyay, who just did the Mangalacharan, is one of our very old members, and he is a personality who he lives in Vrindavan, and he is one person who can actually bring a lot of other religious information into the convention. That said, once again, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity, for being with you, for sharing my thoughts with you, and I look forward to a further strengthened cooperation in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Trivedi ji. It was a very important message in modern times, which is the theme of our convention today. So it's very timely. and relevant, and I really appreciate it. So moving forward with our convention, now I will invite Mr. Vibhuti Jha, who is one of our guest speakers, a keynote speaker today. And I'll start with first checking. Vibhuti ji, you are able to unmute yourself. Great.
I did unmute myself.
Okay, wonderful. So I have the pleasure of introducing and inviting Vibhuti ji today. Vibhuti ji came to US a long time back in 1991, and he came for a professional reason to run and manage.
Hey Hans, I am in a conference. I cannot talk to you right now.
Yeah, he came to US to run American Express business relationship. Very quickly, he grew it. He moved to New York. Being an entrepreneur in heart, he has been scaling and growing businesses on the professional side. But in his personal life, he has been extremely active. Have been running programs like Namaste India. Have been very active in public and in media, and have also been supporting causes around the globe. So I have the immense pleasure of inviting Vibhuti ji to share his wisdom with us today. Vibhuti ji, over to you.
श्री जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इस निमंत्रण के लिए। और मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि यहाँ तो ब्राह्मणों के बीच में विद्वता की कमी नहीं होती है. So we are all wise people. So let's not confuse anything about that any one of us has superior wisdom over other. We are very wise people. And as a very proud Brahmin, I always say is that, it is a great matter of pride to be connected with an organized effort like this. So a little bit of a background would be essential to share with you. I belong to Bihar, and as you can make out from my name, and I'm a very proud Bihari. Studied in Netarhat School in Bihar, and then moved to Pune because Lalu Yadav ji had completely destroyed the Bihar education system. So I moved to Pune, where they had a system of provisional eligibility. So the element of survivability has always been in me, because at 9 or 10 years of age, when you compete to join a school system, a Gurukul school system, so competition comes in you. The desire to survive the odds comes into you. So that's who I am in a nutshell, that I have always found a way to survive. And that's important for us. So, as it happens, I joined Reserve Bank of India in a probationary examination. And then after living there for 7 years, I decided that enough of government. I was always driven by what is known as a performance-based culture. Performance matters, as I always joke about it, in seriousness, with all seriousness. In the battlefield, boardroom, sports field, everywhere, performance matters. So I was driven by that intent of mine. Because in Netarhat School, for example, growing up, you realize that performance matters. So just as Trivedi ji keh rahe the abhi, ki, we have to fight reservation. Let me share with you one example. 1978, I joined Reserve Bank of India in Bangalore. उन दिनों officers quarters reserve होते थे. Officers quarters की allotment होती थी. My turn came for allotment, and I didn't get it in the first 2 attempts. You know the reason why? In 1978, it came as a horror to me to know that those turns were reserved for SC/ST guys to get the allotment of the quarters. So it had seeped into that extent. I am familiar with it since 1978. That was the time I decided I will not be working in an environment where gadhe ghode ek saman hote hain. Wait for my promotion turn to come and then get promoted. For me, it was always the desire that you perform, you must get recognized and rewarded. Now, coming to this important issue that reservation poses us, and this is a question that bothers me all the time. Why are we, the people, the Brahmins, who are supposed to be all the brainiest of all the guys, जिसके बारे में हमारे सारे दुश्मन हमारे पीछे पड़े हैं सर तन से जुदा करने के लिए, बिकॉज दे रिकॉग्नाइज कि अगर शरीर कितना भी भीमकाय हो, कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, लेकिन सर को हटा दिया तो बाकी सब बेकार हो जाते हैं. सो वी आर अ टारगेट, एंड वी आर अ टारगेट फॉर अ रीजन, बिकॉज वी थिंक, we legislate, we do things that makes the process work, because everything happens right out here. So we are a target. I am a target. I have been targeted. That's why I'm trying to tell you this. Survivability is key to all of us. And if we do not use our wisdom to protect our interest, then what good is our wisdom to us? So I'm not here to share wisdom with you. You have enough of it. Through studies, through knowledge, through experience, you have enough of it. I'm going to share with you my experience of life in what you and I can do actually. You know, I am a follower of Swami Vivekananda ji. Unke teen shabd jo hain, 3 A's, are the motto of my life. Arise, awaken, and assert until your goal is met. And to that, I have added most humbly my 4th A, which is act. Because if you do not act, your knowledge means nothing to you. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. Acquisition of knowledge or information is the easiest thing in the world. All you have to do is not even open Vedic chapters, just go Google. You have every information conceivable available to you. But what are we doing with that knowledge? That's the important part. And to that end, I would say that, you know, when survivability becomes the key part, we are facing an existential threat. 4 saal pehle, I mean, at this point in time in my American Express career as a corporate banking and private banking, we did phenomenal work of bringing business from India to the US, in US to India. I'm very proud of that. It didn't happen easily. You have to work for that. You had to work for that. I do not know what you were doing in April 1991, but that was the time when I came to the US, when India had no story to tell. We had no story to tell. I created that narrative. I built the narrative. I told that narrative. And I addressed those issues all by myself. No help, either from the government or the consulate. I did it myself. Very proud of my achievement. And that's something which is important. And that's something that I learned in American Express long back. I was a very good designer of products and services in my bank. How does one achieve his fame and glory? That's how I achieved my fame. That this Vibhuti Jha was designer of products and services. Until one day, my country manager and regional manager called me and to say that I believe you are the one who has created these products and services. But if you do not tell me, how would I know about it? And it is not about beating your trumpet or blowing your horn. It's letting other people know who you are and what you are doing. Stating your claim. If you do not claim what is yours, then people take away what is yours. That's what is important. That's something, a lesson that you and I need to know this. Who the Brahmins are. What do they do? Why are they called Brahmins? Does anybody know about it? Nobody knows about it. We are today a target attack. We are targeted to attack. Remember one thing, any attack that happens on upper caste, it's always the Brahmin. The Rajput and others are not attacked. You know why? Because सर तन से जुदा हो गया तो हाथ या पांव में जितनी भी ताकत हो उसका कोई अर्थ नहीं होता. सोचिए इस बात को. इसलिए हम targeted हैं. We are under target. If we do not arise, awake, assert, and act, we are going to be part of history. History that is called once upon a time. There were a group of people who were Brahmins. How do you counter that? How do you counter that? So what I wanted to share with you, I was honored to have been a keynote speaker at the BSNA Samaj event in San Diego several years ago. And I had the privilege of meeting quite a few of you here. But where have we moved since then? That is the question. What has happened in the last 5 years? What have we done to protect and defend our interests and our causes? I'm asking this question to myself and to all of us individually and collectively. What have we done? What steps have we taken to move forward? My answer, perhaps guess, would be nothing at all. I would be very happy to be proven wrong. Sanjay Pandeyji is here. You can tell me, what progress have we actually made, which is measurable, definable, to say that, yes, this is the difference that we make. So today I'm here not to say how great we are as people. Today I'm here to remind you of Maithili Sharan Gupta ki kavita. हम कौन थे, क्या हो गए और क्या होंगे अभी, आओ विचारे आज मिलकर ये समस्याएं सभी. विचार, विमर्श, विश्लेषण, विमोचन, विख्यान तो बहुत हो गया. समस्या क्या है हम सब जानते हैं उस बात को. उसका समाधान क्या है? What is the solution for that? How are our children progressing? These are issues which are burning issues in our hand. What are we doing about it? So, as parents, as grown-ups, as grandparents, or soon going to be grandparents, we have an enormous responsibility to manage our children. We have enormous responsibility for us to create awareness about our own selves. अपने संस्कार को बचाना है, अपने संस्कार, अपनी भाषा को बचाना है, you know. So the point which I'm trying to say to you is that Sanatan Dharma, or Brahmanical values, very interesting thing happened in the presidential campaign with Vivek Ramaswamy. I think his biggest contribution to Hindus has been how he has beautifully connected Hindu values, Sanatan values with Judeo-Christian values. It may not be identical, but he has connected, created a connect. When he was asked this question, that how does a Hindu, a Brahmin, relate within American society? I today did a 10-minute show on Jaipur Dialogue USA. Those of you who are interested, please check it out. I'm very often doing shows on Jaipur Dialogue USA with Sanjay Dikshit ji. And I run as a parallel intent to create that narrative. I have also started Jaipur Dialogue USA. So please go ahead, subscribe to it, like it, and share it. We bring about thought processes. I did today a show on Vivek Ramaswamy. Point is very important. He established a link. He erased a barrier between Hindus and Judeo-Christian values. He said we are different, but our values are the same. So we have to understand the mechanism with which we can connect with the rest of the world. And I want to share something very, you might find it very ridiculous, but that question comes to mind. And I said this with some of the hardcore Baptist Christians. You know, they asked me about our caste system. And this is my explanation. You do not have to agree with it. You can trash it if you like. But if you see any wisdom in it, then take it forward. That's all I want to say to you. They asked me, what is this damn thing, caste system you have, the Brahmin and all that? I said, hey, the caste system exists everywhere. And I had to answer the question for them to understand. So I said, you are also a casteist. And he was totally astounded. This is the CEO of a big company. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, so long as you have a head and you use it, that's what we Brahmins do. This is where it is. So whether you are a Catholic, black, white, any color, your body as created by God is a reflection of every functionality in life. And I explained to him that everybody in the government, from prime minister, president, to the bottommost employee, they are into the business of legislating, making rules, and making sure that the system works. They are all Brahmins. Every country has its own set of Brahmins. And then there are people who perform a job, warriors, the Kshatriyas, the hand, the body, the feet, and everything else does a job because those people are willing to risk their lives to protect a life, asset, territory, or boundary in the name of the country. They are willing to sacrifice their life. They are the modern Kshatriyas, they are modern warriors. Everybody from armed forces to the bank chowkidar. Everybody is a warrior because they're willing to sacrifice their life. From Bill Gates to Warren Buffett and Ambani and Adani and everybody else, they are performing trade and commerce, including the guy who is selling pan and bidi in front of a restaurant in Bihar or anywhere else in India. They are indulging in trade and commerce. They are the modern baniyas, shudras, you can call them, but baniyas. And then there are people who perform a service. So in good old times, cleaning the street, cleaning everything else, hygienic work was supposed to be the work of the shudras. Today, the service providers are bankers, accountants, IT services, travel agents, airline pilots. They are the modern shudras today. Believe it or not, to my surprise, they accepted that explanation because I told them in the language that they understand. Thank you, Pathakji. They understood the language. And I also said to them, think about your own body. When you use your head, regardless of what color creed you come from, you are using your head, your intellect, your brain power, the wiring in there to do something, right? You use your hand, that's the Brahmin's job. You become a Brahmin when you are using your head or your brain. When you use your hand and feet to do things, you are a warrior at that time because these are the instruments of performance. They execute things. Your baniya sits here in the stomach, you feed the food and you have to nurse the system. And when you clean your body, whether shauch or mutradar or kisi karan se, that's the time when you are performing the job of a Shudra. You are a Harijan at that time. Do you tell somebody else to clean you up? Other than when you need help in a hospital bed, perhaps. But otherwise, you do all the jobs yourself and you are embodiment of a life that God has given you. You can't disagree with that. Surprise, surprise, they agreed. That's right. I cleaned my own butt. I said, nobody comes to vacuum you there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to be very straightaway telling everybody here. The time has come to act. Wisdom exists in plenty. Somebody asked me, what is dharma? I said, intuitively, instinctively, and with knowledge, we all know when we're doing the right thing and the wrong thing. We all know that. We don't need to be told about it. ये सही है या वो गलत है. ये करना धर्म है, ये करना अधर्म है. हम सब जानते हैं. जब हम अपने मन में, जब हम कुछ गलत काम करते हैं, तो हमें पता है कि हम गलत काम कर रहे हैं. उसमें कुछ नहीं छुपा सकते हैं आप. जब सही काम करते हैं, वो भी आपको पता होता है कि I'm doing the right thing. We all know intuitively, individually, and instinctively. That's what is important for us Brahmins, to raise our voices together. And remember one thing, we have to articulate the Sanatan principle. You know, I want to tell you something. I said this on Jaipur Dialogue in a conversation. This century, not this age, not this decade, this century belongs to us Sanatanis, the Hindus. I am very blatant about that. I don't mince my words. I don't hide my words. And I said, our life, our way of life is the message to the whole world today. Technology and science, advancement in science is our biggest ally because our way of life is based on Sanatan principles which are eternal, forever, right? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, I had the privilege where I was invited to speak at the G20 event in Mahabalipuram just 2 months ago. I spoke on Prime Minister wanted that how do we make Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam a global phenomenon is something that we have to decide on that. And I said this to the entire forum, which was organized by Chinmaya Mission and others. I said, why must it take 2,000 years or 5,000 years to understand Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? What are we doing about it? How do we take this message forward to the world around? I think Prime Minister Modi, I mean, some of you may not like him or whatever, they may have disagreement on his political actions, but you cannot deny the fact that he's doing the right things and saying the right things. So when he inaugurated International Solar Alliance, sorry? Yeah. So when many years ago, when he initiated International Solar Alliance, he gave a new definition to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. One sun, one earth, one grid. And then the message was of that G20 convention was, one world, one family, same happiness. We are all concerned with the universal success, universal principles. Every parent loves their children universally. We all cry when there is a death in the family. We all rejoice when there is a birth in the family. All that we want is that we live peacefully. What is the problem with this message? That nobody gets it. This is what we have to take forward. And what I want to say to you again, given the time and everything else is concerned, I don't want to speak for 45 minutes. I want to thank all of you for giving me as much time. But if I'm able to inspire you to action, that's what is required. There was a time when it used to be said कि लक्ष्मी और सरस्वती का सहनिवास नहीं होता है, लेकिन आज की दुनिया में लक्ष्मी और सरस्वती का सहनिवास जरूरी है, तभी मुद्रा आती है आपके पास. The higher education leads to better employment and opportunity. So भिक्षा मांगिए, लेकिन गर्व से मांगिए. अगर करना हो तो अपनी विद्वता दिखा के मांगिए. My suggestion to you, all of us will be here. 3 दिन का convention है. आप लोग बहुत चर्चा कर रहे हैं. Let's do one thing. Why are we doing this Zoom? Why aren't we in person today? This is something we have to think about. लक्ष्मी नहीं है तभी शायद नहीं हो रहा है ना. तो आज 20, I'm happy with 30 warriors than 300 पान खाए सैया हमार type लोग. It's my favorite phrase, which I say it on the TV as well. I'm happy with 30 strong warriors than 300 पान खाए सैया हमार लोग. It's important for us to activate ourselves, regenerate ourselves. And I have begun to ask the question. Ladies and gentlemen here, to all of you, I am appealing to you. Get into a dialogue and conversation. Demanding reciprocity is key. I tell my Muslim friends and Christian friends, I'm on record saying this, and I'm on record saying it again here today. I'm very happy you have found Jesus to be your ultimate savior. I'm very happy for you. Leave me alone with my Krishna, Shiva, and Ram. Why can't you? I've told Muslim friends of mine, I'm very delighted that you found Allah the Supreme. Leave me with my Krishna, with Ram, and my Shiva. Right? And I have questioned Christian people on this. We have to begin engaging in dialogue from school board, PTA to the rest of the forum. And I have demanded that part of it is that conversion is a sin against God's original intent. That's my favorite phrase. Conversion is a sin against God's original intent. And what I mean by that, I told these guys, I tell this openly. I said, if God is the ultimate magician, if he wanted Vibhuti Jha to be Muhammad, he could have given birth to me this soul could have been very well easily be born in a Muslim family. If he wanted me to be a Victor, I could have been in a Christian family, but he made me Vibhuti. So if you tell me that only Jesus or Muhammad can save my life, you are insulting God. Think about it. You are insulting God's original intent. We don't question that part. When I demand these inquiries, they shut up. I make this mention. I told my Muslim friends, you have all right under freedom of religion banner to question my Murti Puja, my Pratha, my Sanskar, my Mandirs. You have full right to ask questions. But if you deny me the ability to ask and make an inquiry about your faith, then sorry, we have no conversation. And they have no conversation. This is how you engage in a conversation. Don't be apologetic for what we are, who we are. We are most of the time, we Hindus end up being apologetic. Oh, हमारे यहाँ caste है. अरे caste नहीं है भाई. हमारे यहाँ तो वर्ण system है. हमारे यहाँ तो वर्ण system था हमेशा से. You are defined by who you are. And I give this example. I'm being very straight away practical with these scenarios with you. Because I don't want to share knowledge and wisdom. I want to share experience of life and living. That's true living. So for example, I told my Muslim friend, he asked me, तुम लोग कैसे इंसान हो, पूजा भी नहीं करते हो, कहते हो कि मंदिर नहीं गए, पूजा नहीं की, लेकिन फिर भी अपने आप को भगवान का भक्त बनाते हो, हम तो 5 बार नमाज पढ़ते हैं. I said something very simple. आप 5 बार पढ़ो या 50 बार पढ़ो, लेकिन आप इस प्रश्न का उत्तर दीजिए हमें. आपका बंदा 5 बार नमाज पढ़ के अपने को बॉम्ब लगा करके बाजार में विस्फोट करता है, खुद भी मरता है, 5 को मारता भी है, 50 को घायल भी करता है. विभूति झा ना मंदिर गया, 1 हफ्ते से मंदिर नहीं गया, पूजा नहीं की है, वो अपनी गाड़ी में जा रहा है, ट्रक में जा रहा है, उसने 5 लोगों को गाड़ी में बिठाया, हॉस्पिटल पहुंचाया, उनकी जान बचाई. आपकी भाषा में खुदा का बंदा कौन है, मैं या वो? उसने कहा आप हैं. मैंने कहा कि I rest my case. In our way of life, in our Hindu way of life, it doesn't matter how many times you pray, but what you do, that defines you. आपके कर्म आपका धर्म बनता है. This is how you and I will have to engage in conversation, from Parents Teachers Association to communities that we live in, education department and everywhere else. You got to get active in the communities that we live in. If you do not get active in the communities that we live in, then you end up being nobody. I have done this ever since I was 9 years of age. I am very vocal in expressing myself. एक समय की बात बताऊं, शायद आपको हंसी भी आए, कि विभूति झा के मुंह से आवाज नहीं निकलती थी. तो my parents used to be very worried. My father used to be very worried कि ये तो बोलता ही नहीं है, जिएगा कैसे? Fast forward, my wife and my son, we are with our parents, and my father said कि ये तो बोलता ही नहीं था. My wife and my son had a big laugh. They said, my son said particularly, Dad, और बोलते नहीं है, अरे इनको बोलने का मौका दीजिए, रुकते ही नहीं है. फिर उसके बाद तो मैं आप लोगों से अनुरोध करूंगा कि बोलने का जो है वो सीखिए जरा इस बात को. बड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग सा डिफरेंस है in asking a question and making an inquiry. And that's where I learned in the art of communication. You have to learn this by virtue of being engaged in the process. किसी को अगर सवाल पूछे ना, तो लोग उसको बुरा मानते हैं. Oh, how dare you question me, right? हम सब के साथ ये होता है. लेकिन अगर आपने इंक्वायरी की, तो उसका मतलब ये होता है कि अब आपको उसका प्रत्युत्तर देना पड़ेगा, समझाना पड़ेगा. I'll give you a very sweet little example of this. I have a Muslim friend of mine, very great banker, investment banker, and उसके साथ हम थे. तो बड़े दुखी मायूस सा होके उसने मुझसे पूछा कि Vibhuti, why is Islam so misunderstood in this part of the world? So I said, Islam is not misunderstood. It is understood exactly the way you are conveying it. He was suddenly rattled. I said, what do you mean by that? I said, look, it answered my 2 inquiries. And I said, may I use the word inquiry? I said, do you in this 21st century believe in the concept of 72 virgins? I went quiet. Then I asked, in this 21st century, do you still believe in the justification of 4 wives for a man? In this so I preceded my inquiry and condemnation with an inquiry. कि आज की 21वीं सदी में, do you believe in these things? I didn't say you are wrong. I didn't accuse him being stupid, but I made an inquiry and I stayed out. 10 सेकंड तक वो चुप रहा. उसके बाद मैंने उसको यही कहा कि तुम CFA हो, पढ़े लिखे हो, $1 billion की ट्रांजैक्शंस करते हो, लेकिन तुम इस बात को एम्फैटिकली डिनाई नहीं कर सके कि 21st सेंचुरी में इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. सोचो. This is how you make. Then he told me afterwards that, yeah, what you say makes sense. Yeah, probably we are stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, I will stop now because, as my father said, if I go on talking, I will go on talking. So I recently did something very funny. I'll tell you. Somebody asked me, we are doing a book project. The book is titled as Puncturing the Existing Belief Systems. puncturing the existing belief systems on diplomacy, geopolitics, and all. So I'm writing a chapter on puncturing religion the way it is practiced. The values that we talk about, Sanatan value, Brahmanical values, we have to talk about that. You all know the values. I don't need to give you a talk on that. But what I did was I spoke like this for an hour, 15 minutes in my recorder, voice recorder, and it came out rather nice. I told my son to be a critic. I told my wife to ridicule me for my statements. And they said, "Ki bas bolna jante ho, karte to kuch nahi ho." But that particular article, I'm publishing that now. I'm publishing an article on puncturing something. Ladies and gentlemen, enough said. To the young people, I want to ask you make a suggestion. I see here Prithviraj Banerjee is sitting with his son and the daughter behind. Hey, guy, so good to see you, man. Prithviraj's son, whatever your name is, delighted to see you. I want to encourage you to do one thing. Just as I grew up with my son, ask a question to your father, why something is the way it is. And your responsibility it is, Prithvirajji, to explain the thing to him in the language that he understands. And this is very important. When my son was in high school, one day he came and asked me, "Dad, everybody is talking about their faith. Why is it that we are not talking about our faith? In school, Islam, this and that, everything happens. We are not talking." But it struck me that he's right. We never talk about ourselves. So we organized instantly. 12 families got together. We organized and we called it a puja group. In that puja group, food was not important. We will meet every month once. You determine your time. We met every Sunday, last Sunday of the month, for lunch. Food was not important. Rice, roti, dal, chawal, achar, probably some ghee and dahi. That was it. Kisi ghar pe ho. Lekin, since in our tradition, everything happens, something is happening or the other every month. So we used to invite a pandit, do a havan, do a puja, and explain that event to our children. Pandit would explain that to our children. Believe it or not, the 12 families became so bonded. They understood things. Parents understood things that they were not knowing. And then a bonding happened. Believe me or not, it is many, many years down the line. Those boys and girls are best of friends. And we 12 of us continue our friendship as yet, remembering the golden days of Puja Group. So I want you to think about it from that perspective, to take the message forward. Values, Sanatan value, Hindu value, Dharmic value, Brahmanical value, essentially, they all revolve around universal happiness, universal concerns, and universal truth. That's what we have to lead on with. So I will stop now. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my thought. I am not prepared. I spoke everything extempore, जैसे दिल में आया, जो दिमाग ने कहा, दिल ने कहा, मैंने कह दिया आपसे. अब इस बात को आप कहाँ तक कार्यान्वित करेंगे, ये आप पे निर्भर करता है. But I want, listen, let's be very proud of being a Brahmin. Let me tell you that. I'm very proud as a Brahmin. I'm as proud as a Brahmin as I am as a Hindu, as I am as a Bihari. In every segment of my time, I'm very proud of myself. Let's be proud of ourselves. Let's have pride in us. And the pride comes because of who we are. We are the head. Remember one thing. The enemy is giving the slogan, Sartan se juda. It's serious. It's about eliminating you and I. The rest of the 90% Hindus are easy meat after that. And I use the phrase with full knowledge and full awareness. Once this is gone, the rest of it is easy meat. This is the message that we have to convey. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vibhuti-ji. Very intriguing, very motivational speech. And if I have taken one thing away from this, let's be proud of ourselves. Let's take pride in our heritage. That's going to stay with me for a long time. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. I just wanted to say I will have to take leave of you. आज हमारे बहुत 4-5 साल के बाद हमारे मौसा और मौसी जी आ रहे हैं, अभी 15 मिनट में दरवाजे पे पहुंचेंगे, तो बहुत बढ़िया सम्मेलन होगा यहाँ पे, तो उनके लिए मुझे जाना पड़ेगा. But I wish the event very well, very good success, and I want you to focus on a few things, please. What are the things that we can do? I say this in my television shows all the time. Individually, collectively, using the resources that we have or the structure that we have. We all have that. Individually, collectively. And I have given a slogan to myself. Whether you do it or not, I don't buy any halal product from anybody. I have told this to Indian stores. I'm not buying halal. Actually, the other day I tweeted to Dabur and Patanjali and others, if you have to sell to Islamic countries because it has to be marked halal, do it. But don't sell it to the Indians and Hindus. Call it export quality. Let's make a demand. I'm a student of economics. You create a demand, a supply happens. You cut the supply, the demand goes away. Operate it on that system. Please do something. At the end of these 3 days, all of you must have an action plan. Okay, next time when we meet, this is what we must have accomplished in that 1 year. If we don't, that means we are not Brahmins, we are not using our heads. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Vibhuti ji.
एक मिनट विजय जी हैं आप अभी ना? मैं संजय पांडे सैंडियागो से बोल रहा हूँ.
हाँ, जानता हूँ मैं आपको जानता हूँ.
एक्चुअली आपकी उस सैंडियागो वाले प्रेजेंटेशन में एक चीज अभी तक मुझे रिजोनेट करता है जो आपने बोला था. आई जस्ट वांट टू शेयर विद एवरीबॉडी कि हमारे इतने गॉड एंड गॉडेसेस हैं और आपने कहा था कि उसको कैसे बच्चों को समझाएंगे, और वो ये था कि हमारे इतने मेडिसिन होते हैं, सर दर्द के लिए अलग होता है, पेट दर्द के लिए अलग होता है, इसी तरह लक्ष्मी, पार्वती, सरस्वती जितनी गॉड गॉडेसेस हैं सबका अलग अलग फंक्शन होता है. दैट स्टिल एकोज विद मी, और वही मैं बच्चों को भी बताता हूँ. और जो आपने आज बताया, आई होप ऑल यंग जनरेशन जो भी सुन रहे हैं और हम लोग रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, विल शेयर विद देम. और थैंक यू.
Please do.
Yes.
Please do. Thank you very much for remembering, because I say this all the time to children particularly.
Yes, yes.
You know, like when I was asked this question by this Catholic, very hardcore Baptist guy, why do you worship so many gods?
Yes.
And I had to explain that thing to him in the language that he could understand.
Exactly.
So I said, who do you go for your heart problem? Do you go to a podiatrist? Do you go to your orthopedic surgeon to cure your heart problems? Or does a podiatrist go to an ulcer guy or a gastroenterologist to solve his problem? Not one Tylenol doesn't cure all your illness. You have various prescriptions. So we had that realization that people have different needs, right? And Pandit ji, आपको संजय जी, आपको मजेदार बात कहूँ, किसी ने कहा कि conversion पे बात हुई, तो मैंने यही कहा, I said, I will convert to Christianity or Islam in a moment if you guarantee hair growth right on top here. कुछ नहीं बदलता है, आपको उसको बदलना पड़ेगा. You know, वार्तालाप जो कहते हैं ना, उसको तुरंत कर मेरी हाइट बदल जाएगी. Can a woman become 36, 26, 36? Can I become a man with 56-inch chest? Nothing changes with conversion. Only your unhappiness factor changes. You are more unhappy now. Because now that you have abandoned your faith, you must be more psychological disordered person. Think about it from that point of view. So I appreciate Sanjay ji for that recall. And yes, I'm coming to San Diego next month for, yes, so next month, 24th and 25th and 26th of August. So Aditya Satsangi kar rahe hain, Satology event.
Yes.
So I'm invited to speak there, so I will be there.
Okay, so, thank you so much, Vibhuti ji.
Thank you. Namaskar. I will take leave of you now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vibhuti ji. Thank you for your time.
Real honor.
So, सभी को कन्वेंशन के बारे में, आज के दिन के बारे में थोड़ा बताते हुए, तो आज का हमारा पूरा दिन 3 सेशंस में है. So with that we complete the first session, which is the morning session now, and we will be moving into the second session. But before we go to the second session, we will take a break, maybe for 10 minutes, just a nature's break. And then we will continue in the second session, where we will have Dr. Akka Raju Sharma ji coming back. So don't go anywhere during the break. And I will also request everyone that if you can turn your video camera on, and we will put in the gallery view so we can take a picture of all the attendees today. So I'm setting up in the gallery view, and if you can just turn your video camera on. Everybody. Okay, so I'm taking the first one. Then we'll go to the second one. अजय जी आप भी ले सकते हैं, आपने बोला था.
Yeah, I'm doing it. So
Yes.
just everyone, please turn on your camera so we can see you. Hopefully everyone is able to. I think the page 2 is still loading.
Yeah, let me go back to page 2. अभी भी काफी cameras turned off हैं. So it would be nice if you can turn it on just for few seconds. Ajay ji, I'm going to third page now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I guess I think a lot of people may not have figured it out how to do it, or might be busy, but we can do this maybe towards the end also, just to get everyone picture again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even I also took the screenshot, and maybe we can do the same thing after another session so that we can have more people onto the video.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you everyone for joining the first session, and we will take a 8 minutes break and reconvene at 1 p.m. Eastern.